Good. Great to see you, and thanks for coming back to The Voice. You've been in before and had a chat about your books. Now you've written 3 books.
I have, yeah.
We'll talk about the latest one, which is called Caramel Cupcakes.
It is.
What's it about?
It's about a young lad called Daniel, who's 12, soon to be 13. He's the youngest in a family of 3 children. He's got 2 older sisters, and his father is a very tough, big lad, and his mum is very much do what her husband tells her. Daniel is very shy, he's very quiet, and he's very sensitive. His father really, really dislikes him because of that. He's not into sport, which his dad is very much a sporty man, and he basically detests his son because he doesn't like football or any other sport. Because of that, Daniel is really rather badly abused, physically abused by his dad, and treated just pretty rotten by his mother and his sisters. So, and it's the struggle that he has to sort of overcome those adversaries, really.
So where did you get the idea for the story?
It's one of those stories again. Most of my stories just kind of pop into my head. They kind of just arrive. But as a teacher, in the past, I've taught an awful lot of children that have been special needs children, and a large proportion of those have been abused in various forms. And it's very sad because I've seen children right from the age of sort of 4 or 5 years old that have been very badly abused, right up to sort of 12 to 13 in different types. So it's kind of an amalgamation of all of them, kind of those types of children put together to create Daniel, really. So that's where kind of the roots of the book are. So
I suppose really there's got to be loads of children that could tell stories like that in real life, isn't it? You know,
yeah, definitely. And also I think I didn't particularly target Caramel Cupcakes to come out this particular year, but it did just nicely coincide with the World Cup. And just prior to the World Cup, there was a news article that stated how domestic violence increases exponentially when big games are on, especially things like the World Cup, because obviously if people are supporting a particular team and they don't win, then there's an awful lot of violence goes on in the home towards both children and wives or girlfriends. And this is the kind of thing that's happening to Daniel. I mean, it is kind of based around the World Cup, and Daniel finds that as the matches go on and various things happen, the abuse becomes worse. And the reason I called it Caramel Cupcakes is because his teacher, one of his teachers, his food tech teacher, discovers he is very, very good at cooking and enters him into a competition, and Caramel Cupcakes is his signature dish. So that's why I titled it Caramel Cupcakes.
That is the thing in life, isn't it? It's a fact of life. It's probably always been there and always will be, that as a parent you think that your child or children should do the things that you want them to do regarding that sort of situation. They should like this, they should like that. That's because you like it, but that's not the way of life, is it?
No, it isn't. And I think again, as a teacher, you see all sorts of parenting, good and bad. And you know, as parents ourselves, I mean, we've got 4 children of our own, and we always try to encourage our children to go their own ways. I mean, we've got 4 very different children, and they've all got 4 very different interests. But like you say, it is very common for parents, especially fathers, to want their sons to be like them.
That's right.
And if they're not, then I mean, another thing about this as well is you say, did I actually base it on one particular person? I do actually remember a boy that was in school who was about a year older than me, who actually turned out to be gay, and he hated any kind of sport, couldn't stand a ball coming anywhere near his face, and his father totally rejected him because of that. He wasn't abusive to him, but he had rejected him, whereas his brother was very sporty and Daddy loved him. So it happens.
That is favourite, absolutely. Okay, we'll leave it there for a second or two. We'll have a bit of music. In fact, we'll have the first track from this afternoon's featured album, One Love, by Mr. Bob Marley, to accompany this fantastic hot sunny weather that we're having today. And that's been chosen by young Mick, Mr. Mick Southhouse. You'll catch him on breakfast tomorrow morning between 7 and 11 here on The Voice. And Mick's chosen 3 Little Birds. That's coming up.